All right. Welcome, 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 everybody. Thanks so much for showing up. My name is Mark Gamble. I am one of the co founders of AI Genius Marketing and Local Marketing U. Today is going to be a jam packed day of hands on, kind of interactive uh, insights and relationship building as we are taking a slightly different approach launching our product in the marketplace. A little bit of background from me. I am a seasoned technologist. I've been in the Bay Area for 25 years. I have played in the startup game, the investment funding, the capital funding, the VC funding, the angel funding game. I've worked with businesses all up and down Silicon Valley who are in startup phase, who are in launch phase, post launch. And there's a lot of aspects that as a agency we had to kind of change within our business as we were developing and bringing resources to our clients. A lot of that AI played the primary impetus. We were fortunate enough to get access to ChatGPT about a year before the general public. So I don't know if everybody knows this or not. If you haven't played with ChatGPT yet, put that on your to-do list. Just search ChatGPT and just follow along. But I'm going to take this to the level that I'm assuming everybody has some familiarity with some of the latest AI tools that are out there in some kind of form or fashion. Uh, but ChatGPT actually launched March 2020. Their version 3.0, early 3.0, launched March 2020. However, we were all concerned about something way differently than what was coming out of their little technology lab. So from pandemic scare to pandemic kind of, you know, slowdown, they had been continuing to train and continuing to improve upon the application. Around the middle end of 2021, we got access to it. So we started seeing right up front that there was going to be a significant change within the landscape when it came to a lot of things digital. And that's our focus, is a digital media, digital marketing resource for businesses to tap into to accomplish some of their business growth, business marketing, business communication goals. That being said, we leaned heavily into really understanding what this new transitionary landscape is going to look like. What would a digital media, digital marketing company have to look like post 2022, 2023, 2024, 2025? And it's crazy to think around 2022 is when this thing was like on people's radar. So a lot more folks got access to it by summer of 2022. And then it was like full blown public exposure end of 2022. And that opening, that democratization of access to this massive computer system that can take trillions and trillions of bits and bytes of data and information and then organize it, remember it, assimilate it, regurgitate it, emulate it for you at the push of a button for anybody with an email address. That's the difference that AI is making in our landscape or in our society. AI has been around for decades. It's not new. It's not new. Big businesses have had access to machine learning and supercomputing and all this information gathering and intelligence and organization. Now we all have access to it. And that's where we decided to take a pivot as an agency. Offering custom projects, client contracts is something that at the end of the day, there's a reserved marketplace for that delivery of service. But what the local business, what the small business person wants, needs, and actually deserves is something that allows them to do a lot of things themselves, allows them to be in control and navigation capacity of what they would like to do without having to break the bank, hire charlatans, get folks who maybe know what they're doing but might not. And because this is such a very this whole landscape metamorphosizes, constantly. And because that is the case, there has to be a way that the local business person can focus on whatever it is that they are doing for their business to deliver value to the marketplace, and then have a suite of tools that allow them to stay involved, stay participatory, stay intentional about what they would like to accomplish with their business using these different tools and technologies that are potentially at their disposal. And I'm sure you guys are all aware that, I mean, there's players in the game that are big, then there's a whole lot of different resources and tools that have integrated and embedded AI into their platform. That's expected, and that's actually necessary. It's funny because early in 2023, when you said, "Hey, we're using AI," that was a differentiator for your business, your brand, your product, your offering. Now it's just it's just commonplace. If you're not using AI in your system, if you're offering a system and you're not implementing AI in some capacity, then there's probably something to be said about your development practice and or product program or plan. That being said, we are building what we're organizing, kind of, I think of it like a massive Lego kit for business owners, where you can get different modules and functionality and bolt it into a universal platform that allows you to really kind of steer the direction of your ship from a digital and a technological standpoint. Uh, as I said earlier, I don't really have any slides. I'm going to do a little bit of talking, a little bit of explaining, and I might have a few screenshots, but I want us to get around some small tables and commune and talk. And there's some cool things because we actually want to build things that are valuable to the marketplace so that it can literally plug and play into whatever it is, our platform and whatever it is and however it is they want to be used. We call them kind of recipes. So when you create these kind of recipes, it makes it easy to, kind of plug and play different foundational starting points for something that you want to automate, and then customize it to your specific situation, your specific needs for data assessment. And speaking of data, that's kind of the core of everything. AI is only intelligent. The word artificial intelligence, the intelligence aspect comes from the data set. The data is what makes AI intelligent. Without data, AI is not very smart. So organizing your data and then making sure that, number one, your data is in the cloud. All of your data is in the cloud, or whatever it is that you want to be able to engage with AI. That data is stored and organized in the cloud. That's step number one. So you get it in the cloud, and then the next thing is figuring out how to communicate with AI so that it can process that data. The takeaway from ChatGPT is this: if you played with it, we're now at an age, technological age, where we can now simply just have a natural language conversation with our computer, with our device. And that allows us to tap into a massive data set that OpenAI has trained their GPT on, so that it can have an intelligent conversation or exchange with us. Using ChatGPT to help you create blog articles or social media content or things that give you ideas or jump starting some concepts that you're thinking of is fantastic. That is actually the main initiative that OpenAI was hoping to accomplish when they said, hey, you know what? Screw it. We're just going to take the lid off this thing and give it to anybody and everybody with an email address. That, however, is elementary. That is expected now. You should be using that tool to help you expedite the things that are pretty much routine. Oh, I have to write or respond to this email. Okay, let's think about how I'm going to respond to this email. If it's a personal email, it's family member, I might need to just handle it all on my own. If it's a prospect who is responding because I put an ad out in the marketplace and some random person clicked on it and they're wanting to have a chat or a conversation, I should probably delegate that. And the concepts or the thinking about how you run your business, what can be delegated, means that you're going to have to document that process. You're going to have to be able to write out and articulate what those steps in that process involve and what kind of outcomes you're looking so that it can advance to the next step or divert off to a different step. So understanding what you can document, you can delegate. And if you think about the processes that are routine, that are standard, that are pretty much regular operational processes within your business, somebody's got to sit down in front of their computer with their keyboard and start clicking and clacking away and moving their mouse and double clicking on stuff and dragging and dropping and highlighting and right clicking and copying and pasting in order to do your business. Anything, virtually anything that a human can do sitting behind their keyboard and their computer screen, you can essentially train AI to do those tasks as well. Double clicking, opening, copying, pasting. There's ways that can be set up in order to automate so that a human does not have to take their time out of doing something that is routine. It might require some assessment of some data or some analysis of some of the information that you've organized. That's where the AI comes in. But it makes sense to delegate it. And if you delegate it, you're going to have some checks and balances to make sure that the process or the project or the tasks were being completed properly. And as that is the case in the real world, such is the case when you start thinking about the next stage, because it's about to be 2025. We're halfway done with 2024, so don't get it twisted. Pandora's out of the box. You know AI is coming. You know AI is something that has to be implemented. So now it's time to start thinking strategically about this. The same way we looked at the landscape a couple of years earlier and said, look, let's start pivoting to move away from sitting down and putting, it used to take me a half a dozen people at least to manage and run and implement a paid advertising campaign for a client, say a Google ad campaign or Facebook ad campaign. There'd be a copywriter, there'd be a graphic designer, there'd be a expert within that Facebook or that Google ad management platform. There'd be the stats an analyst, person who's putting some reports and helping us figure out what's getting better traction, et cetera. And they had people that had to help them because they were working on multiple projects. So as a result, the costs were somewhat expected because of the nature of the fulfillment delivery mechanism. But now with AI, there are tools, there are resources, there are processes that can be automated by CP3O. And notice I said CP3O. I don't want this to get out there and all of a sudden get a cease and desist letter. I got CP3O. So you ask and delegate your AI assistant to handle some things for you. Be intelligent about it. Be smart about it. Use your GPT capabilities and the data that we give you, our data set, our information, our CRM, our spreadsheets, our philosophies, our products, our services, our menu items, our prices, our backgrounds, our culture. That's the information that you make available to your AI tool set. And now you just think about, okay, let me start creating AI assistants, AI staff members to accomplish various aspects of my business so that I can spend more time doing the human element of my business. And that might be more gripping and grinning with other humans, even if it's on a Zoom call. I don't know if you saw recently, but the CEO of Zoom, he wants, or it will be coming out, he wants people to create a digital avatar of themselves so that that avatar can attend the Zoom meetings that you don't necessarily want to attend. And it's taking notes, it's articulating, and it could even be shared. It could be set up to say, hey, here are the questions that you want to have answers to. So when it's your avatar's turn to engage and speak, then you got the digital version of Mark doing the engaging and doing the speaking. And let me just say this. Oh, it's not going to be, it doesn't look like this. Whatever it is you're saying today, right now, is the worst it's ever going to be. This is the worst it's ever going to be. It's only going to get better from here. So, yeah, maybe there's some flaws and some glitches in the matrix but that is expected. And it is part of the evolutionary process that you just happen to find yourself doing business in this time. If you were doing business 30 years ago, 40 years ago, different thing. You'd have to worry about some other technology, and we're talking mimeograph and copying with the roller copiers, et cetera. But net, if we just understand where this technology is going, and then we provide resources to help get you there. There are things that you should be aware of is that the same way you can just talk to your computer and get it to analyze a bunch of data for you, you can also create and develop and set up process paths without having to be a programmer or a coder. It's the same thing that Wix has done for the website development industry. You used to have to hire a webmaster. And then that webmaster had to get smarter because then they had to learn, all this other web language for JavaScripting and CSS coding and other aspects of web development. But then comes a drag and drop platform. You don't have to know nothing. You just have to know how to drag and drop whatever you're trying to create. And if you sit down and take a few minutes, you can have a version 1.0 out there, and that can be iterated on and improved upon. And that's kind of what we're doing here. And that's the nature of technology development. There's always a version 1.0, version 2.0, version 3.0, et cetera. So what you guys are participating in is literally version 0.9 of our AI Genius Marketing Suite. So we invested heavily in a AI and business strategy certification program I'd say end of 2022, when everybody was like, aha, in the release of ChatGPT. We were in lectures and roundtable sessions, and they paraded a bunch of folks through the lecture hall that we had to learn from. They had 3 initials after their names. They had the PhDs, the whatever else's. They had TED Talks on their resume. I mean, these were the folks that are understanding and seeing and participating in the landscape way before the democratization of it. Every one of these experts said the same thing. And the 2 key components that they said was, number one, there is no blueprint to how things are going to turn out, because this is the first time in history this level of massive computer processing was available to everybody who has an idea or a plan. There's an ethical aspect to it. If you guys want to talk more ethics on it, I did a whole AI session for Alignable a few weeks ago, and that's one of the core things that we talked about is make sure that there is the maintaining of your transparency, your authenticity, your security as you are employing this new technology. It is something that is going to be part of your business. Matter of fact, it's going to be part of your life. AI is going to be in everything from your refrigerator to your freaking toothbrush soon. So don't think otherwise. That being said, understanding where and what kind of problems, and I say problems only very loosely, but you learn from a problem. You learn how to improve upon something when there is an issue that doesn't sit well with you or the results you're trying to get. Those areas are what you want to have AI come in and help out with. Those are the areas that you want to delegate. Those are the tasks that you want to sit down and spend a little bit of thought process around. What can I do in order to make sure that that is being accomplished in my business, but it is not a time suck for me or my staff or my team? My AI staff is handling that. You're going to be creating multiple different AI agents within your business. One AI doesn't do everything. It's not the way it works. Think of it like an assembly line of AI staff members. So you've got one AI agent that might be the agent that handles the scheduling on your calendar. You've given it access to your calendar. Other AI agents might have to write an email in response to something that comes in to your inbox, and you want to make sure that that gets responded to. And if there is a request for getting together and meeting in person, you want to be able to send a response out for the in the email that has information about the scheduling availability for you automatically. So your email AI agent is essentially going to have a chat with your scheduling AI executive assistant, make sure that that data gets transferred appropriately, and then the end results are addressed. That email goes out to the prospect. Maybe an appointment is now scheduled on your calendar, but it is not one AI to rule them all. It doesn't work that way. So think differently. This is a paradigm shift in the way you're thinking about running and operating your business. Now, that being said, I am going to share screens and do some live kind of things with you guys to kind of show what we've been building and how it kind of operates. 50,000 foot view level here. There's going to be a ton of questions that you guys, I'm sure, are going to have. And that's really the impetus for this. This is kind of my little mini easy focus group to be able to help us batten down the hatches. Our ultimate goal is to launch formally with the version 1.0 Q3 of this year. So the next couple of months, we are doing a series of these private invites, and this is numero uno. So there's a little bit more that is going to be raw here, then it will be polished as we kind of get to the middle of the month. You never sit around and wait. You always improve and iterate. That's kind of the mantra. If you sit around and wait, you'll never get out of off the development table. So that's what we're doing. And thank you guys so much for participating. We definitely appreciate it. And there is going to be an appreciation gift that is unannounced that I'll be making to you guys, just to say thank you again from the heart. That being said, I am going to, looking at the clock here, I want to kind of stay on task here. If there's anything in the chat that you guys have to share with me about kind of what I'm going to show and what I'm going to do me a favor and click on if you click on the chat button, and then over on the right, there should be a Q&A option. If you click the Q&A option, this will keep the questions organized for me. And then also it helps my data centers so that when I say, hey, I need to make sure I get all these questions answered, and I get my AI to help me answer all these questions, we don't have to cull through all of the content. So you help me organize the data, definitely appreciate that. Any other regular chat conversation you guys want to just chat amongst yourselves, that's the general chat area. So while I'm in presentation mode, you guys can chat amongst yourselves easily. The other thing is there's a few little icons in the lower right-hand side where you can, click on if you kind of like some of the things you hear. You can clap, you can give it some thumbs up, and give it a curious look if what I'm saying could be even controversial. And so with that being said, I'm going to fly through a couple of things, really kind of briefly, and then we're going to jump back into the open table, and we're going to kind of have just an open conversation, brainstorming Q&A session about kind of, what's going on here. Everybody agrees with me? Give me a thumbs up, and then let me share my screen. And one of the tools that we use to manage, where is it? Where's the click up? Click up, there it is. Okay. That we use to kind of manage a lot of the projects that we work on internally is called ClickUp. And so I'm gonna take you just kind of behind the scenes on some of our raw information of how I'm going to start outlining these pre-launch events. So for the most part, this is going to be the kind of the agenda that we're going to kind of walk through. The agenda typically is going to say, hey, look, let's make sure that you guys understand what your business looks like in a digital kind of capacity. And so we do this business audit, and this business audit really kind of uncovers a few core components that should be red flagged as you're starting to think about your digital position, digital footprint in the local landscape. So really kind of make sure you get a good understanding as a local or a small business, what and how you're using all the tools that you have at your disposal. For example, Google has given a extremely powerful tool to every business in their Google business profile. And it has even become more powerful because, and peep game here, folks, Google has already admitted that they are cannibalizing some of their search business right now as they are doing this transition on how search is going to happen. Up to this point, you've typed in a keyword or phrase, and Google's gone back into their database and spit out a bunch of results based on a bunch of criteria as to what they think are the best options for solving whatever question or query or topic that you typed into the search bar. It's now going to be a search conversation that you're going to have with an AI Google search bot. That search interview, that search discussion is going to explore what you're looking for so that ultimately it can go into its database and its information that it has and then provide for you additional insight and resources into criteria that best matches your overall objectives, your overall goals. And if those businesses are smart, they've taken their AI tool shed and they've opened it up to where Google can schedule appointments for them on their calendar, maybe even make sales for them right through the connection that happens through what the Google link is going to be providing. And so at the end of the day, if you realize that Google loves their own properties more than any other online asset. So if you use any of Google's properties the way they really want you to, you get more Google love and exposure. Your Google business profile is simple. You put your data information like a directory up there, etc. But if you didn't know, you can also publish to your Google business profile, just like you can publish to your Facebook profile, just like you can publish to your Instagram profile. So you should be publishing there as well, because the Google algorithm, the Google spiders, the Google bots, the Google tools that Google uses to gather more data for their AI. And remember, what makes AI intelligent? Data. The more data that Google has on you, on their Google properties, the better it is for you. The more that you turn around and take a video and just record you talking about something important in your business or a value add you bring to the marketplace and just upload it to YouTube underneath the same account that is part of your Google business Gmail account, that transcript of that video is instantly transcribed, and that information that you just talked about is now part of your Google overall business profile. So understanding using these tools are important. Here's the trick. Here's the thing. Google always thrives on the latest information, the most up-to-date data. And if I want to learn about a person or a business, it's one thing to ask them directly, hey, tell me about you. Give me your resume. Give me your background. Give me your CV. But it's a whole nother thing to talk to their top 10 family members, their 10 friends, their 10 acquaintances, and get a full picture of who you are even before they talk to you. And that's what Google does with reviews. So you should be leveraging the Google reviews because that's your customers, your clients, your associates engaging with you on a Google property, telling other people about you. Yes, it is great for the other people. Absolutely. I'm not taking anything away from the importance of Google reviews for the potential new prospect that's trying to figure out who you are and what you do and how you do it. I'm talking about something completely different. Making sure that Google knows who you are, what you do, and how you do it. So you need to come with intentionality. You need to start with purpose from the beginning. When you engage, knowing whether you like it or not, they can talk about you. And if they use Google to talk about you, Google's going to learn about that, and that's going to be part of your dossier. Influence that, participate in that, be active intentionally in that understanding. Somebody, Frank says, this scares me. I get you, man. But we were the generation that said we wanted to be the Jetsons. We wanted the Dick Tracy watches. We wanted the Kirk out and just flip and keep it going. We wanted the Jetsons. Hey, Spacely Sprockets, I'm not coming to work today. And here we are. It comes with implications that we have to be involved in, especially as strategic, intelligent business people who their business is important to them, who has to be mindful about the decisions and the money that they are investing in order to accomplish their overall goals. So going through and making sure that a business really understands that that is a core data tool that they have to feed and feed regularly. So you need reviews coming in regularly, especially if you're in a service-oriented industry. You need the reviews that are 6 days, 6 weeks old, not 6 months, 6 years old. One of the clients said, oh yeah, I've got over 2,000 reviews. And you go back and you look, the most recent review was like 3 months ago. And the oldest review was like 2014 or something like that. Nobody cares about a review from 2014. You probably aren't even running business the same way as you were running 10 years ago. So making sure that that data stays up to date means that, focus, being intentional, delivering the best kind of quality, top-notch, top-level service that you possibly can, and then being intentional about even asking people to share their comments and their feedbacks and their experiences with you. Making sure that they are part of the process. Because if you know you cracked it, you knocked it out of the park with that prospect or that customer, get them to document that. Because once it gets documented, it becomes part of your dossier. And you should play a role in building your dossier. Find somebody that's, oh my God, Mark, you're the greatest. Oh my God, I love it. You helped me so much. Hey, when you do me a favor, leave me a recommendation on the Lineable. I ask that all the time. Everybody's like, hey, man, talking to you is like sitting in front of a fire hydrant and they just turn it on full blast. One guy said, it reminds me of back when I was in college at the frat parties and they were just like, drink, 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 drink. Dude, I get it. My wife is like, are you going to sleep? I haven't really slept since I started this AI deviation in my business operations because it is exciting and I am being intentional about participating in this revolution. And any and everybody that wants to participate, I am game and interested in engaging and connecting. That's how this becomes a movement. And the interests that I have as a business person is to identify those forward thinking individuals, because it's not for everybody at the time. It is. Some people are like, no, 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 I don't want to sit in a self-driving car until we've had it for 3 years already on the road and every car is self-driving pretty much. Other people, on the other hand, are like, hey, I'll help figure that out. And I'm one of those people. I've been self-driving. My car's been driving me since 2019, and I'm talking about 90% of my driving. And now, granted, there's a lot of times in the early days I had to take over because it could only do certain things. I remember when I first got my car, it couldn't even stop at a stop sign or a stoplight. Didn't recognize it. Showed it on the screen. You saw it on the screen, but it blew right through the stop sign when it was in autopilot mode, just like cruise control. Then one day I wake up and the little screen says, hey, your car's just been updated. We can now stop at stop signs and stoplights. And so now when you put it on autopilot and you're on cruise control, it'll slow down and come to a complete stop. That iteration over time has now led to where San Francisco has driverless taxis in it. I know Arizona has that. It's just part of the evolutionary process. And folks just have to decide where they want to get on this technology train. And that's the analogy I like to use. This is a train. And trains have a lot of freaking cars coming after one after the next after the next. You can always get on the next car. There's not going to be a time that a technology car is not going to run past your platform that you can't say, yep, it's time for me to step on now. Just know, while you can step on, you can always step off if it's moving too fast. Maybe it turns into a little roller coaster ride for you. You need to step off and catch your breath for a moment. You can always step off the platform as well. But just know that train's going to keep going, whether you're on it or whether you're not on it, period. So as you decide your process and your path and your comfort level and your intentionality and participation level, just be mindful of that. It's never a fear of missing out. There's always going to be the next something or other that makes whatever we're doing today look like, oh my God. So everything I'm talking to you about today, it's like, oh my God. A year and a half ago, going through these courses, it was just like really science fiction. Now it's like, yeah, this needs to be commonplace because the next evolution of stuff. And if you haven't played with ChatGPT 4.0, that's for Omni, not 4.0, for letter O, Omni, I highly recommend that you at least go to the OpenAI website and look at some of the demo videos that they've put up there that show what the technology is possible with right now on your cell phone. This technology in this aspect is going to be part of their free plan very soon. Right now, paid members get it, but it's going to be part of their free plan because they're going to be rolling out GPT-5. And GPT-5 has some crazy rumors going on around about it. Suffice it to say, keep this mantra in mind. Technology, this is the worst it's ever going to be, period. Figure out where you're going to play a role and what you're doing. So this is the agenda. We're going to then talk about, what do you do to organize your client meetings, prospect meetings? How do you manage events? If you're in real estate, do you keep open houses on calendars? If you are a mechanic, do you have a walk-ins policy versus a appointment scheduling policy? Understanding kind of the how do you manage your events, your activities where people have to get together. Now, this could also be internal meetings as well. Maybe every Monday you have to have a sales meeting. And every Monday there needs to be a certain agenda that's adhered to and certain tasks that are delegated. And maybe, for example, your sales team uses a tool like Slack to talk about their sales challenges and wins as a team. And you train an AI assistant to pay attention to your Slack channel for the sales team to make sure that that AI assistant shows up to all the sales webinars and meetings and Zoom calls that happen, taking notes on all of the meetings, putting together summaries, identifying tasks and delegation of action items, due dates and deliverables, organizing that into charts and sheets and graphs for your team to utilize at your beck and call. That's the level of conceptualization that I want you to be able to start wrapping your head around. It includes things like, what do we do for our outreach to get our phone to ring more, to get leads coming in the front door, to get more people sending in requests for demos or email about questions that they have? What are we doing on a social media landscape to make sure that we are announcing and promoting and educating and inspiring and informing people using the media platforms that we have access to for free? I've been doing this for a long time. And do you know, when I used to try and sell TV and radio space in the late 80s, it was like, oh, I can't afford it. If I only I had a way to get it in front of all these. You got it. You have that. You've got to nurture it. You've got to cultivate it. You've got to grow it. So there has to be an intentionality about that. Guess what? You can get your AI social media agents to help with that, to help think through what makes sense, what's trending, what's hot, what happens when somebody comments on some things that you do post, so that there's now a discussion and a conversation that ensues that leads to a landing page or an opt-in or an appointment because there was a conversation that transpired or happened. Video. You got to use it. It's so freaking easy. Selfie, record, upload, you're done. There's no need for anything other than that for version 0.5. Period. I'm just doing this. I'm just talking about just behind the scenes of that quick. You got a Gmail account. They give you a free YouTube account. Upload it to YouTube. Bada bing, done. It can become more sophisticated than that, clearly. But we're talking about just thinking a different way. And here's the other thing. Because all this stuff we're talking about says, hey, AI, let me train my intern to be my first level video editor. And this video editor, I'm going to ask that they take a script or an article that I talked about, and they give me ideas for how to turn that into a 5-minute video. What kind of scenes, what kind of clip art, what kind of stock images, what kind of custom content should I include? And if you got an iPhone, you have a great freaking editor right on your iPhone. If you have an Android, there's free things like CapCut. It's drag and drop simple. None of this stuff requires more attention span than a goldfish, because that's how so much content is being created. It's so easy to create it. All these content creators are able to create it because they don't have to go through the long drawn out process that you used to have to do to get media in the hands of the masses. Think that way, use the tools, get AI to help. And there's all these tools are coming out with new video tools, text to video scenes. Oh, let me describe the scene for you, and you create it out of thin air for me. Still very, very new, still nascent, but know and understand it's on the horizon. And if you steer your ship, your business ship, like you're driving, I'm a skier. So when you ski, you are taught, don't look down at the tips of your skis. That'll fuck you up. You look downhill. You look to see what's coming. You look downhill. When you drive, do you drive looking down at your tires? Or do you look down the street? Pay attention to what's coming down the street so that you can navigate accordingly. Don't stick your head in the sand. Don't be, it's not the way I do it. That's not the way I do it. I don't do it that way. You're driving like this then. Hate being that guy. Somebody's got to be that guy. I was also a high school basketball coach and an AAU basketball coach. So I've been that guy a lot. But if I don't tell it like it is, there's no reason to improve. Customer relationship management, your CRM system. Your CRM system has got to be in the cloud. Everything that you want to know and or do or will or have done with these prospects, customers, clients, leads, your pipeline, your funnel, your projections, that all has to be in the cloud. Because if it's in the cloud, we can now act on that data. We can now create processes that run triggers, that do basically if-then sequences that allow us to automate something that brings intelligence into the capacity. Now, the automation process for, if-then flow charts has been around for a long time. That is not new at all, but it's been very static, and it's been it's been like a one-dimensional kind of approach to having a dynamic way of managing processes in your business. AI can make decisions based on its training, and then it can run actions based on some triggers. So when you add that AI element, that large language model element, that RPA automation element to what you're doing, you're able to get much more reliable results. Now, do you have to have a system of checks and balances in place? Absolutely. It's technology. It's not infallible. Period. Nobody's saying it is. Same way you bring a new hire on and you give them their roles and responsibility, you got their regular routine evaluations, same thing. There always needs to be a head human in charge of your technology approach, of your AI staff or AI team in that department or for that project or for that role. That head human in charge is why it's not about AI taking jobs. That's one of the biggest things I hear is, oh, I don't like this. It's going to take the person's job. It's going to take the copywriter's job. It's going to take the editor's job. The answer is actually, they did a study, and I'll find some stats if anybody wants it. 85 million jobs will be decimated by AI, and I don't know the dates, of that period of time, but again, I'll get the data points appropriately. But here's what stuck out to me: 85 million jobs will be decimated. 97 million new jobs will be created. That's 12 million new jobs in my book. Did your skill set have to change? Absolutely. You have to change what you were doing because there's a whole new set of tools that you need to be able to take advantage of. So AI is not going to take your job. AI is not going to take over your company and, if you make you lose your authenticity. Those that are not using AI, those have not implemented AI, will have their jobs taken by those that have implemented AI, those that are using AI. So that video editor that's like, oh yeah, I am very proficient with the AI tools out there. Because again, there's a lot of ways to skin a cat with technology. So you don't have to do it one particular way. So somebody can turn around and use a suite of tools, produce a result for you. Somebody else can take a similar suite of tools and produce a different kind of result for you. Same kind of, process. But you've got to make sure that the person, the humans, understand the tools that are available now. So that then comes to the internal process management, making sure that you really do appreciate and understand the importance of looking at your process and then figuring out how to make it much more efficient, effective, streamlined, reliable, and data driven. Because you want a process that gets smarter. So as your data increases, you have a ways to turn it into information. Now, I had an argument with a friend of mine. He's actually here on this call today about data and information being the same thing. The reality of it is there's a hierarchical level of improvement that happens with data. Data, you're right, data is a form of information, but it's the beginning, it's the alpha. Data is the beginning. That's just the numbers, it's just data. It means nothing, it's just a number. How that number is processed, read, or analyzed turns it into information. Now you're informed on something. Now you can make decisions based on the information that you have at your disposal. And if you are making those decisions based on that information that you have amassed, and it's producing results for you that you like, that becomes knowledge. Now you know what to do. If I want to make that happen, I know what to do. Data, information, knowledge. And then when you start figuring out how to really know what to do in various situations, lots of different scenarios, then you got wisdom. Now you're wise. Data was the impetus. Data was the starting point for it all. Data turns into information when you sit down and you apply what metrics are important to you, not to me, to you. And then from there, when you start realizing, okay, I'm getting the result I'm looking for, let me do more of this. Oh, wait, my data's changing. Let me make some changes in what I know so I can make sure that I'm continuing to get the results I'm looking for. Now you can sit on the mountaintop and do the whole Zen pose and be like, yo, come to me for questions and advice. I hope that outlines a way to think about it. We're at the nascent stage of data capture. You want all this data and you want to put this data in the cloud. Then you want to work with AI to get you to assess and organize and analyze and evaluate that data like this. Because now you don't need to turn around and wait time and weeks and months and whatever. The information age can come quickly. Your data can turn to the information real quick. And now we can start implementing it. And that's where our tool sets come into play. Because now we can start putting some AI assistants and some staff team together to help improve those internal processes. So now your focus is on making sure your internal process is moving as efficiently as possible, head human in charge, but then also doing the human related things and fulfilling and relationship building and support and service and vendoring and partnering and networking that has to come into play because that's who we are. That's us. So this is typically the agenda that I'm gonna start taking folks through. I'd love your feedback on it. I'd love your input when we kind of get together and chat a little bit, just to kind of see, if it kind of hits on those hot button points that are important to the small business owner. And then just I'll show you a sneak peek of this. This is actually let me close that one and go to. So this is I've had lots of conversations with some of the folks that I've been talking to, and one of the things that they always say is, well, Mark, how do I even get started with this? What do I even do in order to start figuring out how to automate some of these internal processes? And this is just one of our internal roles that we run through within our organization when we sit down and we start working with folks in order to start moving that needle and becoming more of an AI powered approach to their business processes. So one, understanding the process, identifying who's involved in the business process, who needs to make the decisions, figuring out how to document the current the current workflow. what it is that the steps are involved. I can show you an example of that. As a matter of fact, here's an example of one I did with a client who is an planner here. And if you'll see here, this is basically a, kind of a mind map where we're taking one aspect of their event planning. And this one aspect has to do with managing potential wedding events. So if you're going to have a wedding, you're going to need to hire a DJ. You're going to need to hire a photographer. You're going to need to hire a caterer. You're going to need to hire, and you're going to need to engage with these various resources. And each one of these resources will have to have their own calendar to organize when to meet with the bride to be, their own set of services that they want to offer to the bride, etc. So what you're looking at here is just one zoomed in. If I zoomed out, it would look like a picture of an atomic structure type of thing, but just this one little area zoomed in on. We're talking about a DJ for a person who is planning their wedding, and they have to get a quote to figure out if it's going to fit in their budget, and they have to see if they can do other things like photo booths and lighting and maybe audio visual equipment because they want to put some stuff on the screen and show some pictures, etc. Every step in this process that you see outlined here in this mind map illustrates a typical step that somebody on the team, on the DJ team, has to go through and do in order to move them to the next step. So if the prospect indicates that they have to, that their event is going to be 100 miles away, part of the quote building process has to take into consideration drive time back and forth to the event and current gas prices. Essentially, somebody had to go out to one of these little blocks up here says, go out to the, there's some data, some website that you can go to that has the most current gas prices in a zip code or in an area that you can use. So you can get that number. You can then go over to Google and then type in address A and address B and get a, round trip, drive distance. And then you can calculate what your cost is and figure out the gallons and then throw your margin on top of that. That's something that they were doing as part of their quoting. They were doing this. They were sitting there mapping, plotting, calculating how many gallons per gas and this and that. Okay, add 20% margin onto that. That's part of their process for developing a quote. It took them 3 days to deliver a quote to a client. Oh, they go through, they have this interview, they ask all these questions, and then they have to go back and do all this calculation and stuff behind, click, 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 click. The data's already in the cloud. Let's just have our AI assistant do those things for you. After the call, your AI assistant just listen to the call so it knows everything that you just said in the call, where it is, 100 miles away. Oh, okay, great. So now when it's time to put a quote together, when the DJ says, yes, I want a quote to be created, the AI assistant already has that information because it pulled it out of the conversation. Nobody had to enter it in. It pulled it out of the conversation automatically. Then it went over to the gas website by itself. It doesn't need help. It knows how to get to a website. Then it did the copy paste, put in this zip code and whatever else to get the gas price and copied that in. And then it went over to the Google API and said A to B, round trip, 200 miles, $5.89 in California a gallon. Average vehicle, it goes 30 miles a gallon or whatever. Cost is this. I'll even throw your 20%. I'll throw a 25%. I even throw a 30% option in so you can pick which one you want to put in your quote. And all this happens before the person even finishes all of their questions. The AI is working on that while they're finishing answering some of their other questions. So now when it's time to deliver a quote, the DJ can look at their quote in the draft folder first to make sure it meets their approval, hits the send button, and it goes out within literally minutes. And the only reason it's going into his draft folder first is You got to have that series of checks and balances in place. So you have to make sure that the intern is actually doing what you're telling the intern to do first before you bless it. Now, after a few weeks of seeing quotes coming through, you're like, yo, you're spot on. You're spot on. Good. You remembered all the different variables that go into my quote. Good job. You can turn that function off. And now it goes right to the customer immediately. And now you don't even have to take the time out to even approve the quotes if you don't want to. That can be applied to social media. Hey, go create a bunch of stuff for me. Organize it. Put it out on my calendar. Put it up on hold until I go take a look at it. See if I like it. Oh, I want to make some edits and changes to it. All of this can just be part of the process. Okay. So, where's my ClickUp? There it is. So, document that workflow. That's an example of the one workflow for creating a quote needs to be documented. Now, there's more to that. I mean, I don't want to make it seem like that's all that workflow rolled out to do is creating a quote. No, it scheduled, it created a Zoom account, it added them to the CRM system, it added them to reminder messages so that they're going to make sure that they go to the actual in-person Zoom call that they get, so they can validate the information. I mean, so there's a whole lot of other stuff that plays a role in it, but it's off of the client's table. They don't have to worry about it. Analyze the pain points. At what area was this failing for you before? What was the slowdown? I'm talking with a remodeling company that a rejuvenation company. They rejuvenate like fences and roofs before properties are resold. Commercial and residential properties are resold, and one of their biggest things is the quoting process for them. There's a lot that goes into figuring out how many square feet, what part of what area of the country are they buying wood in, if they're going to aggregate and send somebody out to, repair the fence in somebody's backyard in one zip code, it's a different price. And if they are in a totally different state, a totally different zip code, and they're trying to be the AG's list of the repair industry, the rejuvenation industry, then they are going to have to automate a whole lot of this stuff. So we're right now thinking through exactly all of these different workflows. And this is where the time investment goes in. So this is a documentation. If you can document it, then we can delegate it. And if you can delegate it, then we can automate it. Document, delegate, automate. Those are the requirements. That's what we're trying to figure out. Put a diagram together, kind of like what you guys saw there. Figure out what workbooks and checklists need to be in place. In other words, what softwares are we using? What data storage and systems do you guys currently use? Where is the information? What happens to the information? What goes into this typical process that we have to figure out how to tie into, connect with, engage with? Implement and test it, train and monitor it, and then figure out what kind of questions that you and the team need to ask. So there's a pretty decent, this is just kind of the beginning stages of what we sit down and go through and do in order to take the tool system that I want to be able to provide businesses with. They can do this on their own. They don't need to have somebody to essentially walk them through this. They have the hammer, the nails, the screwdrivers, the pliers, the buzz saws, the levels, the rulers to do it themselves. They're going to have to sit down and do a little bit of, but I like to tell my team, turn your hustle cap around backwards, burn the midnight oil, and figure it out. Between YouTube and the internet, you can figure stuff out that has to do with anything online. It ain't rocket science, and it's not heart surgery. It's just the time investment that has to go into being proactive about it. So we can come in and help with this. What we want to basically do is give you the suite of tools that allow you to figure out how and what it is that you would like to do on your own, irrespective of being able to reach out to other folks for assistance and help. So you can start developing that 0.5, 0.6 iteration of your process. This is not, I didn't say a product, this is your process, how you're managing your data, how you're managing your social media, how you're managing your information, and then move it into better, more improved options that you will obviously have access to. One of the things that I'll show you when I go into the dashboard here is we're about, I want to say about 70% done with what we're going to launch and release in Q3. Q3 is, this version, we actually were ready to go. About 2.5 months ago, we were kind of gearing up for this soft launch, for the launch, and we had everything ready. Our friends over at OpenAI unveiled For Omni. And For Omni is multimodal. And what that basically means is that you can see, you can hear, it can see, it can hear using the cameras on the devices, the microphone on the devices that it's running on. That has brought additional functionality to what we want to be able to provide to businesses to be able to leverage and take advantage of. So let me switch screens here, and let's see here, where is it? And I will show you some of the back office that all right, so share screen, window, dashboard. Yes. All right. So I'm going to focus heavily on a lot of the AI aspects of what we're talking about, because let's suffice it to say that there is a pretty powerful and functional CRM system that has email functionality and sales pipeline functionality in place that we can talk about. And then I'm going to unveil some of the other things that we've kind of chalked in here, but I really want to focus on the AI, heavy AI integration that we have in what we're bringing to the marketplace to help business owners. So it's literally a one-stop shop, and they don't have to bounce all over creation to try and accomplish what they're interested in taking advantage of or trying to accomplish. It's all part of the program that they are participating in, if you will. Okay, so we have these are in no particular order, and this order is probably going to change. Again, you guys are looking at this is early on what it is that the layout and the look and feel of everything. But I want to show you everything that's here. We have something called our AI Genius Ads Manager, AI Genius Experts, AI Genius QR codes, AI Genius Video Shorts, AI Genius Portal, AI Genius Virtual Events, AI Genius Reputation Grader, AI Genius Gamify, AI Genius Chat Agents, and AI Genius Voice Agents. And this is the suite of additional tools that we have that bring a heavy AI spin to what we're doing. Now, as an example here, again, keep in mind, think like I want a team of AI staff members that I can turn to and rely on to do certain things for me. And the very first set of things that we've kind of alluded to is making sure that you have a process in place for creating different kind of content or thinking about different kind of things. Yes, ChatGPT is there and you can use it. Also, we've licensed ChatGPT's APIs, Google Gemini's APIs, Microsoft's Copilot APIs, Anthropic's Claude APIs, and integrated them into various aspects of the platform so that you know we're not reinventing the wheel. we are enabling a universal umbrella. Think of it as your Captain Kirk mission control deck that you're able to run your business from, that has your CRM, your email, your texting, your phone calling, your online ordering, your invoicing, your social media. But now there's also a team of AI agents that have access, that are report to you, that are trainable and customizable by you for your purposes. And one of those aspects and one of those areas is our AI Genius experts. So there will be, let me just make sure I'm logged in here, because again, we're all in demo mode. So a lot of this stuff I have to make sure I'm logged into. So give me a sec. And I hope you guys are liking the information that I'm sharing with you. It's kind of, making sense to you. Agents. All right, so I'm waiting for them to give it to me on Slack because I thought I had it, but I don't. Let's jump over here and we'll take a look at the next one here, which is the AI Ads Manager. And so your AI Ads Manager is essentially, think of it as you have to go and set up your ad accounts on all of these different platforms, obviously, right? It's important for you to have an ad account on each of these different platforms, from Facebook, Google, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn, etc. And we want to make sure that you don't have to worry about logging into each of these individual ad accounts over and over and over again. But instead, you just are able to log into one location. And in that one location, you can connect all of your ad accounts to the dashboard. Now you can manage all of your ad accounts from one location. You can manage your Google search ads. You can manage your Facebook ads, your TikTok ads, your LinkedIn ads, your Instagram ads, YouTube, display ads on Google, Snapchat, messenger style ads on WhatsApp or Messenger, or DMs or Messenger on Instagram, call ads on both Facebook and Google, your performance ads, which is kind of what Google calls their Performance Max suite, Microsoft Bing ads, Spotify ads, and local service ads. You can go in and you can create various ads on these different platforms right from within your dashboard, using AI to help you create the ad copy, the ad headline, the call to action, and then identify who your target demographic is on that platform, and then manage your ad budget all from within the dashboard. So if you know I'm going to spend $5 a day on YouTube ads, I'm going to spend $10 a day on Instagram ads, I'm going to spend $10 a day on Facebook ads. All of this, you don't have to go to Facebook and create your ad and then upload and this and this and then do that and then log out of there and then go over and do the thing with YouTube and then do the thing with one dashboard, one location, one suite of functionality once it's been set up and connected. Let's see, I have not yet gotten back the Ad Experts login yet, so let's keep rolling. QR codes. Everybody always says, hey, I need a QR code. I need a QR code. Well, the easiest thing to do to get people in your database is to set up a landing page, which our system will easily be able to set it up so you can create a landing page just like Wix. So it's not, I mean, that technology is expected. Yes, you can create landing pages, and yes, you can turn around and organize what it is that you want to do any way you want to on the screen. But now how do you get traffic there? And if you create a QR code and on that landing page, there's a form to give their name, email address, and phone number. And when they give you their name, email address, and phone number, they're entered into an automation that kicks off certain actions that will have to happen as a result of them giving you their contact information. All you have to do is go to your back office, you put in your URL that where you want this QR code to go to, generate QR code. It creates the QR code, you save it, you now can print it and put it anywhere you want to. We also have a QR code generator that ties into using text message. So text this keyword to this telephone number. So you put in your digital telephone number, your AI Genius, you can get, it comes with your own digital phone number. So you get a digital phone number that you tie in, because that's how you're going to do a lot of the online communications with SMS, etc. But you put that phone number in, you set up an automation that says when somebody types in the keyword loyalty, I want this automation to kick off and run, and these follow-up messages to go off, and this information to be captured and gathered. So generating those QR codes is all part of your back office immediately, so you can get that stuff out, printed, online, on social media, without having to wait for anybody whatsoever. The AI Genius portal. The AI Genius portal is basically going to be the training environment. This is where all of the various courses will be related or stored for training and access overall. I just did a training course for the real estate industry, and when they log in, they see their course that they can have access to, and they can watch the replays. This is where we will be putting various trainings on really taking your tool set to the next level and thinking through some of these strategic approaches. I want to do a lot of these open sessions in the future, so that we can, keep our finger on the pulse of really what's important in the marketplace in terms of resources and tools. I skipped over video shorts because I know I don't have access to that. That's one of the ones that we are adding. But basically, this is that AI tool that allows you to easily take a long form piece of content and upload that long form piece of content into the dashboard and have AI read through the transcript of that long form piece of content and indicate or inform you what information is trending, and be able to put cuts where you start talking about trending topics, and then turn that long form piece of content, maybe you've got a 20-minute webinar or whatever, turn it into 15-second, 30-second shorts that automatically put the little karaoke captions that the words change colors as you're talking automatically on the screen. It takes that part of the transcript, puts that in automatically. It splices at the ideal place where it thinks that this is good information that you just talked about. It gives you a relevance score as to the appropriate ability for it to become viral based on the topic of the conversation that it just spliced. And it automatically, within 15 minutes, because there is some editing that has to happen behind the scenes, it goes through and it says, hey, I go check your dashboard. We've just taken that 30-minute clip and we've turned it into 8, 15 to 30-second clips. Go in and take a look. And if you don't like any of it, you can easily go in and make edits to those things by just simply dragging and dropping. I won't be able to demonstrate that today, but in the next few days to a couple of weeks, we will. Virtual events. This is an example of one of our virtual event partners that we have integrated within our platform. So you can hold and host virtual events. Now, you would have to reserve space on the virtual events calendar, because what I just basically did was I reserved floor 5 of this building. But we can create multiple virtual buildings and have each of these buildings accessible to businesses to turn around and use for meetings and get-togethers and powwows and sales meetings internally, or customer meetings that you set up for private use type of thing. It's not meant to be a replacement for your Zoom. This is just an extra add-on, because we actually suggest strongly that you utilize Zoom when you're setting up your appointments on your appointment calendar, because our system will easily be able to identify what time slots you have available on your calendar. It'll integrate with your Google Gmail calendar, and that will be like kind of like your master calendar. So whatever your Google Gmail calendar says is available, that's where it's pulling its information from. And then it will create an appointment, put it on your Google Calendar, go to your Zoom account, grab a unique Zoom link, and send that out to the customer. And you want a unique link because you want every link, every conversation you have with a client to be able to be distinctly different, recordable, and part of its data set. So I just met with client A, and here's a recording of client A. If you're using the same link, then you erase over client A's meeting as soon as you have client B. So you want a unique link, and the integration that we've built in with Zoom automatically has and handles and does all that for you. So we don't. This is not a replacement for Zoom. This is just an extra way that you can bring meeting engagement and resources, technological resources, to the table. The AI Genius Rep Grader. I'm going to save this actually till last because this is one of the gifts I'm going to give you. I'm going to give you a little homework assignment so that you guys can go through and do an audit, an AI audit on your business. AI Gamify. These next three are still, work in progress. If I go to them, they'll be error 404s. But that's why I say we're about 70% of the way through, but we will be ready within the next couple of weeks for all of the functionality to be built in here. AI Gamify. The things that you do online, you get much more engagement when you add some gamification to it. So you can create gamified campaigns that you want to have folks engage in. And some simple forms are like polls and quizzes. But then you can do things like, spin the wheel. I know John is in this call. John's got a wellness spa. Yeah, John can do a spin the wheel and you get different prizes along a Wheel of Fortune kind of thing, or a jackpot type of thing. And when you add that level of component and that gets them engaged, what we're really trying to do is get data from them. We want them to share data with us. Data is the asset. The more data we have, the more efficient, the more effective you are going to be as an operation because of the tool sets that you'll be able to employ. So the AI Gamify is just an easy way to start thinking through what you're doing, how you're doing. Again, it can be applied internally as well. If you want to have your employees maybe make sure that they're always asking customers for a review, you can gamify that process and you can keep track of who's getting reviews. And then you can put a little leaderboard up and show the staff member who's going to get the Amazon, a gift card at the end of the month kind of thing. So there's different ways to really get creative with these different tools. The AI Genius Chat Agents. This is where you can custom train your own GPT on your business, your products, your services, your philosophies, your offers, and you can make it available for internal use or external use. Internal use means that those chat agents help you think through some things that are important in your business. Like, hey, based on our sales numbers last month, and then also looking at our Facebook ad metrics, what do you and what we were advertising, what do you think we should go with for our next campaign going into next month? Give me 5 ideas. And now it's just not randomly pulling some bullshit out of the air. It's actually looking at your information and data and then assessing that and helping you now think through those ideas. That's the next level. So these AI chat agents can be organized and programmed to help you, customized for you, to help you internally, but then also help externally. Customer support agents, being able to manage the little pop-up widget that's on your website so people have real-time customer support that they can engage with. And it's just like talking with the person because it's a GPT. So they're responding just like they're talking to a GPT. And being able to also pay attention to incoming text messages. If a text comes in, read that text. Respond back to that text. Have a conversation around that text. Have action items associated with that person reaching out via text. Real quick story, a client of mine called and said, hey, Mark, I had my first out-of-body experience with my AI staff member. He calls her Marjorie. He created her as a executive assistant, has access to a whole bunch of his stuff, right? And so he's like, I'm driving home. I get a text message. I look down. I get a text message. It's after hours. It's from a client I've been trying to get in touch with for a long time, a week or more. And he hadn't called me back or anything else. So he finally reaches out to me. I'm thinking, okay, even though it's after hours, I'll ping him when I get home. But then my phone starts going ding, 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 ding. And he's like, shit, is he getting mad that I'm not responding? Let me pull over and figure out what's going on. Pulls over. He looks at it. He says, Marjorie, these are his exact words. Marjorie done had a whole conversation with this guy. She knew who it was because of caller ID, and she cross-referenced caller ID in the CRM to figure out it was Bill or whatever. He showed me the text string, and it's like, Bill texts Jason, my client, hey, I'm trying to see if you're available. Sorry, I've been AWOL. Are you available tomorrow at 2? Marjorie responds back, I'm Marjorie. I'm Jason's AI executive assistant. He's tied up tomorrow after 2. Bill, what can I help you with? Bill's like, oh, I'm calling about XYZ project. Marjorie's response, hang on, let me check his Slack for you. She proceeds to go out and talk to the Slack agent to get some details about what's going on where Bill's involved in the thing, and then comes back and says, here's where we are with X, Y, and Z on the project so far. His response, great. If tomorrow after 2 isn't working, what does he have for Friday? Or what's open Friday? Friday, anything after 10 is available. How about 11? Perfect. Check your inbox. You should have a confirmation from me. All this is via text message. Check your inbox. You should have a text message from me. Got it? Yes. Awesome. I'll let Jason know. Anything else? Feel free to text me back here. I'm available. So you can set these 8 assistants up. And the reason he was hearing the ping, 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 ping is because he's the head human in charge with visibility in the conversation to make sure Marjorie stays on track. If he wanted to. Doesn't have to. Marjorie looks like she did a pretty damn good job. So these are the kinds of things you're looking at as a way to organize your processes. And then AI voice agents. And this is what I'm most excited about. The reason we have actually said, hold up, wait a minute, is because GPT has released 4.0 Omni, and that has multimodal audio inherent in their application. That basically means that what used to sound very obvious it was an AI agent because of the delay in response. And the reason it was a delay in response is because it had to go through so many processes. If you set up an AI voice agent to make an outbound call or even to field an inbound call, you can ask it a question. It typically turns that audio into a text transcript, sends it over to GPT so it can read it and get a concept of what the hell it is, writes a reply to it, sends that to an audio encoder, turns it into an MP3, and I'm being facetious about this just to have you think through this, and then sends that back out over the telephone. Even though that took milliseconds, the delay was just a little uncomfortable. Because we don't really do that when we're talking like humans. Now that everything's under one house at OpenAI, that delay is virtually imperceivable. Thus, going back to my earlier mantra, this is the worst it's ever going to be. It's only getting better. So these AI voice agents will allow you to make outbound calls in bulk and have individual, unique conversations with the prospects that they're reaching out to. Or the opposite is also going to be available. It can be manning an incoming phone number that when a call comes in, they're Johnny on the spot to pick it up, have a conversation, and then figure out how it needs to be delegated or handled because it probably will need to be transferred or some follow-up or what have you. But these are automations that can now be thought through. You've got a list of 2,000 leads that you want to call, load them up, call 10 an hour because you don't want to blow up your system. You want to make sure you can modulate it because if you call 10 an hour, you get one or two people raising their hand saying, yeah, making sure you can handle the workload because it's never been before where you can turn around and for, what would you have to pay a human agent to jump on the phone and make calls for you for 4 hours a day with a native English accent that is easy to understand and easy to interpret. And then also captures data during that conversation, puts that data in the database in the right places, handles the follow-up or whatever fulfillment or whatever automations that happen as a result of that data being captured and gathered, and then alerting the appropriate parties what's been done, providing an MP3 recording, a text transcript, and a bulleted summary of what was just talked about. All right. I'm done. I'm going back to the tables. And for all of you guys that have stuck around for this point in time, and I apologize, I thought I was going to be doing more back and forth, but I appreciate you kind of bearing with me. I felt that there was a lot that I wanted to make sure was communicated from a high level up front. And then we can field questions. And then I will be doing more of these, and they will be more formalized with presentations and slides and calls to action, etc. The very last thing that I'm going to show you before I go is the web page that I'm going to ask you guys to take a look at and give me your insight in on. And we'll say, nope, cancel, not that. I want to turn around and let's see, is this it? Nope. Where is it? I thought it was already open. I guess it's not already open. Let's open it. Go dot CRM private offer. Here we go. All right. So this is our initial iteration of our landing page. This is basically the introduction of what we've put together. It's a high level, again, overview. There is a countdown timer that illustrates the month of July is going to be this private invitation only offer that we are extending. The offer basically is 40% off of what is going to be the monthly service fee. And right off the bat, I'm just going to let you know it's going to basically be as low as $497 a month to basically take advantage of everything. There's not going to be, when we start, different levels like a bronze package, a silver package, and a gold package. It's going to be the platinum package. You get everything package, and then later we will be dissecting different features and functionality out. So usually what you do in the world of software is you have the private launches, the alpha launches, where you basically give them access to the kitchen sink because they were the flagship users and participants to help move the thing to the next stage. And from there, you then turn around and start subsetting out packages that fit for the marketplace. So what you're going to see here is basically the entire kitchen sink. It's everything I've been talking about. It's being able to ultimately facilitate all of the ideas that I've just been throwing out at you guys for the last hour and a half. There is a video that I would recommend you take a look at. This is a short little 2-minute video that just kind of talks a little bit more. It's more geared towards the CRM aspect of it all. But 1 second, let me stop that call from coming in. Sorry about that. Apologies. All right. It kind of goes through more of the dashboard, some of the typical functions that are part of the platform. A lot of the AI stuff is work in progress from our marketing materials. But for the most part, we're billing it as your all-in-one AI-powered CRM and business management suite, help you capture more leads, nurture those leads, close more sales, retain more customers. You can integrate with hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of resources. That's the way, like I said, it's like a Lego set. And practically every player worth their salt has API connectivity that we can integrate into what it is that we have and that we have built out for folks to leverage and use. These are typically the pieces of software that a business usually needs as a bare minimum to run their operations and their practices, circa 2023, 2024 kind of thing. And we're talking about things like email marketing software, SMS marketing software, something to help you build out sales funnels and landing pages, something to help you build out your website and to update your website easily, something to help manage calls and call tracking, something to do surveys and forms and opt-ins, something for your calendar and handling your appointments, your CRM system so that you can manage your projections and your sales and your closing ratio. Being able to have a way to access and manage all of these different tools from an app online on your desktop, to be able to log in and say, oh, wait, I can log in and do my email marketing online. I don't have to be at a particular computer. I can set up my calendar on any machine. I don't have to be on a specific computer. Tracking and analyzing all of the data and the metrics that go into the activity that your business stimulates. Courses and products, managing what you're doing for offerings and extensions of your transactional operations of your business, and then managing your online reputation. Typically, if you add up everything, you're looking at north of $1,400 a month or more. And there's things in here that we haven't even included, like social media, like paid advertising, like being able to engage with folks with the gamification aspect of it. So at the end of the day, we're a fraction of the cost of what it is that you would normally pay. And we want to come in and just replace all those things. You don't need any of that stuff. Migrate it to the cloud, and you'll be able to take advantage of the resources that we have. I'm not going to read through all this, but there's a whole section on, what we do to make it easy to capture leads, and drag and drop smart surveys and forms, easy to develop websites and funnels and landing pages, managing your calendar and putting your calendar connected to your Google Calendar or your Outlook calendar or your Apple Calendar. Nurture those leads so you can now intelligently automate those conversations and engage properly back and forth with the prospects and that are part of the process, so the clients that are part of the process. I think a few folks that have done some business with me recently have experienced some of my AI interns engaging with them. I think John's on the call here. John can attest to, Emma. I call mine Emma. Emma being Johnny on the spot with some of his questions and queries. I was on vacation. I was actually in Barbados, and John had a few questions, and Emma helped him out and set it up. And the next thing you know, John and I are on the phone, and I'm chilling on the deck, in my hotel room, chatting with John about some stuff that it was totally appropriate at that time for us to talk now. And I had the time, and it worked out. And Emma hooked it all up for us, made it very easy for us. Organizing leads. So there's a whole pipeline management system, so you know where folks are in your sales process. You can analyze and get the reporting and the metrics. You can turn that data into information so that you can make knowledgeable decisions. Payment collection software, so that you can tie your Stripe and your PayPal or your AuthorizeNet right into the dashboard, and you can collect money right from setting up your web pages or setting up a link, or hell, even off of your phone. You can be out and about, and if you're at a like we've got these little wine fairs here in Northern California. You're at a wine fair and you say, hey, I have a little booth here. You want to sell a voucher to your services. You can basically turn your phone into a card tap machine. They then tap their phone to your phone, it uses their Apple Pay, and you've just collected money right from their system instantly. Let's see here, extend event. Right from their credit card, right to your phone, it goes right into your account. Program hosting, you host all of your websites. You don't have to pay extra for hosting, extra for hosting your videos. You have a big unlimited hosting library at this stage. I mean, this is the kitchen sink plan. Kitchen sink plan's only available to a few folks, limited time. But for the most part, you don't have to, just like YouTube, you don't have to worry about, going out and getting a Vimeo or a Wistia account to host your video. And video files can be huge, but you have unlimited video hosting, website hosting, image hosting, document hosting. So this is basically what the AI Genius system will manage for you. Website builder, form surveys, team training and onboarding, memberships and online courses. If you have a membership program, subscription type program, you can roll it out through here. Sales pipeline tracking, merchant processing, rep management, copywriting, using GPTs, social media management, automated, online paid ad management, process automation, email and SMS marketing, missed call text back, AI-powered employees, appointment setting, invoicing, quote management, setting up easy to organize, drag and drop flow charts to here, I need to lead capture, and then I need to send them to this page, and then I need to book a call, and I need to get a calendar set up and a thank you page, and easily just drag and drop to set up what your plan that you're interested in setting up. And then our plans. So our plans are going to start at, let's look at the red line that's been crossed out. This is our retail pricing for the plan starting Q3. And again, the only difference between the left plan and the right plan is that there's a monthly option and an annual option. Everybody gets everything. This is the kitchen sink plan, basically. So the annual plan is $497 annually. The monthly plan is $597. There are no setup fees. We do a 2-session onboarding to connect all of the applications and the infrastructure so we can build that foundation. Usually those 2 settings are done in about 90 minutes each. So about 3 hours, about a week later, you're pretty much ready to rock and roll. And so basically what you get here is, as we said, integration over 1,500 software and applications, unlimited contacts in your CRM, database, unlimited user accounts. So if you've got staff that you want to give access to or limited access to, you can allow unlimited staff members to have access to your dashboard. And then you can segment who has access to what aspects of the dashboard. Build unlimited websites and unlimited funnels, unlimited email campaigns, unlimited staff members. Unlimited staff members and unlimited users. So users are different than staff members. I can set you up as a user on my plan or my program to help with, say, managing my courses and helping me with the courses, and you're a user there, versus somebody within my internal organization that I give that segmented access to. So the staff members are segmented access. Unlimited SMS text campaigns, unlimited forms and surveys, unlimited social media posts, unlimited AI integration, and unlimited website hosting. So basically, don't even worry about it. Just start filling this puppy up so that your business has the data sets that are necessary in order to start doing some of the interesting things. You're going to get a VoIP telephone phone system built in, and you get an included digital toll-free number as part of the plan. So you get to pick an 800 number. It's really an 888 number. You get AI-powered marketing agents, chatbots, BizBubble video web widgets, reputation management, AI review response bots, pipeline management, invoicing, e-commerce payments, standard integrations with tons and tons of standard things. So things like, hey, I need to connect to Google. Gotcha. Need to connect to Apple. No worries. Social media management, social media posting calendar. You can pre-schedule all of the things that you want to socially post and then be done with it for the week, for the month, because you sat down and thought through it up front. Membership course builder, email builder, SMS text builder, appointment booking calendar, forms and survey builder, workflow builder, call tracking, agent reporting, basic CRM functionality, Google My Business reporting, Facebook reporting, AI social management, paid ad, video editor, Oh my goodness, list goes on. Marketing agents, social media agents, conversational staff members, etc., 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 etc. Two things. One, you get a certain amount of credits for texting, for phone calls, for AI usage for the plan. We've been pretty generous with the plan, but basically you get like 1,000 text messages per month. After that, it comes out to about 2 cents per text message, just shy of 2 cents per text message, and less than 0.00174 for each additional email. But you get 1,000, you get 1,000 emails a month as well. And again, it takes freaking 5 emails to equal 1 penny, kind of thing. The other thing is, and I need to make sure that you guys are aware of this, because this is the new reality, ladies and gentlemen. It's called tokenization. Tokenization is how AI is basically getting paid to do all the connectivity things behind the scenes for people. It's based on tokens. So if you go and you look at ChatGPT, they'll tell you, oh, you get 1 token equals like 3 words, 4 words, or something like that. And you buy access to tokens, and every word it spits out uses those tokens. I'm not going to go down the rabbit hole too deeply in this session, but you get enough tokens for approximately 100,000 words each month. And then if you have to buy tokens after that, we're talking about, dude, Nolan and I thought through it the other day. This is 0.00025 10,000ths of a penny or whatever. It's crazy, but I got to put that up there for disclaimer purposes so everybody knows. So bottom line is, for the launch invitation for the month of July, we are allowing you to lock in on either of the plans from an annual perspective or monthly perspective. If you decide annually, what would normally be $500 a month times 12, which is $6,000, you'll be able to lock it in for about $300 a month times 12, which is just shy of $3,600. And that's locked in for life. So as we continue to add and improve, you each year, it's just your annual flagship offering. You're one of the flagship founding participants in our program. The monthly option is about a 33% deal, where you get, it's normally $600 a month to month. You get to knock that down to $200 to $399. So it's about a 33% discount that you get to lock in. If you choose monthly and then decide later you want to upgrade to annual, it's not going to be at this rate. It's going to be whatever the upgrade path is. You're not going to be able to change until we go live with version 1.0. So make sure you kind of think through where and kind of what your longer term role is. That's who we want to engage with. Those are the businesses that we really want to engage with during this stage of our relationship. We need a long-term relationship, and we need to be able to have that consistency and the reliability so that we can continue to improve upon this product and make it the best for everybody. So that being said, that's really literally it. That's the entirety of what I wanted to get you guys together here to talk about today. Let's go back to the open floor plan, and I'll field some real-time questions. I don't see any questions here in the chat session here. So let's do this in person. Thank you guys again so very much. Appreciate it from the bottom of my heart. You guys are very special to me. Always remember it. All right. So